Alrighty, we're all good. I'm good.
You're all
You're
good?
good. I think I want to get my little flower t-shirt in though. Woo! This is what you gotta have fun in this game, buddy. We can't just build businesses without having fun.
That's what it's all about.
Mr.
You
J.
ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mr. Peter, what's going on?
I'm downstairs right now in your house.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've seen each other. About 6 minutes.
Yeah. Ah,
Oh.
so what are you grateful for today?
Vitamin G. I am grateful. I am grateful. You know what I'm grateful for? I am grateful that some genius decided that doing a workout in a sauna is like a really cool idea because we joined the gym and it's a sauna workout. So like I've never done it before until I got here. And yeah, I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful for my beautiful wife. I'm grateful for you and your beautiful wife. And I'm grateful for building this beautiful business that we've got. And yeah, I'm grateful for lots of things this week. Passing driving tests, buying cars, selling aeroplanes. Just been a great week.
Yeah. Great.
What about yourself? What about your vitamin G or vitamin
My
G?
vitamin G. My vitamin G is, I'm going to say technology, but I'm going to stress AI. I love AI. I love it. Last week, got a beautiful conversation with one of your friends or colleagues that you're in a mastermind with that knows AI really well. And I just am grateful that it is here because it really helps fill in a lot of the gaps that I've had with how my brain works. It just helps me out so much. Just very grateful. Very grateful.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So this week, what are we going to be talking about?
We're going to talk about language.
Language.
People's language or your language reveals your future. Okay? So let's talk about that just for a minute. We don't have we don't have a discipline problem. People don't really have a time problem, don't even have a motivational problem. We have a commitment problem about committing to things. Because the truth is, your life doesn't reflect what you want. It reflects what you're committed to. And with myself being in the coaching industry for about 8 years, I'm listening for the language, what people say. And I know that you've been in it long enough. What are some of the things that people say that they're not committed to, they're not going to get in their lives?
There's so many, but some of the big ones are, I should work out. I need to eat better.
Yep.
And now our favorite is this. I'm trying, and then they may use growing a business or I'm trying my best or something like that.
Those are good. Those are good. So when you listen to people that really know what they want, what's their language like?
If I listen to a lot of people that we surround ourselves by, and we did a podcast very shortly before, about proximity is power, we use the words must, like we must do this. It's a must. We will. I will. It's happening. I choose to. There's another one. I get to. This is a great one, actually. I love this one. I get to. When people are like, I have to. There's another one. I have to. It's like, I love it. I've changed that terminology now to I get to do whatever it is. I get to sit in traffic if that's the case. I get to. So it's just a really powerful switch.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's just a little shift, but it's your language. But we've talked about this before. We can go back as far as we want, but you go back to a book that was written 2,000 years ago called The Good Book. It says, in the beginning was the Word.
Yes.
We're co-creating our lives. Yes. And we're able to recognize if you're aware, we always talk about awareness. If you're aware and start to become aware of the language that you're saying, your language really dictates the history or your future.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agree. And like you say, you can go back to 2,000 years ago, you can go back 20 years, you can go back 30 years. I can see the difference in people's languages, the way that they not only talk to other people, but talk to themselves. Like, I listened to something very recently, which was, and I brought this guy up with yourself as well, Neville Goddard, right?
Yeah.
You love him, I love him. And I listened to the I ams. He has a thing on there that he did back, I don't know what date it was, but a long time ago. And it was the I ams.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things that I realized is he used anything that was disempowering. So it's like the empowering of I am amazing, I am powerful, I am beautiful, I am loving, I am caring, whatever. One of the things that I loved what he used is when it was becoming a disempowering word like tired. A lot of people use this. I am tired. I am hungry. He said switch it and put I am aware of my tiredness. I am aware of my fear. I am aware of my hunger. And since doing that, it's like all of a sudden it's crazy because when I'm aware of my hunger, I'm not that hungry no more.
Yeah, and you can still be hungry, but you're not identifying that's who you are.
Yeah,
That's just something that's happening. If you really think about it, when we commit to something, it's not really a feeling, it's a decision that this is who I am. This is who
yeah,
I will be, right?
correct.
This is who I will be. So
Yeah.
and we can get into some real talking points. We can talk about like motivation or emotions or commitment. When we get committed to something, it's like a person, here's the language people say, I drew a line in the sand and
Yeah.
no more.
Yeah, that's true. And that's normally an event that's happened in your life to for you to draw that line in the sand, right?
And give what are some examples about that you have? You put a line in the sand, you said no more.
The big one would be drinking alcohol, taking drugs.
Okay.
I'm going to use an easier one for a lot of people may relate to, which is stop eating gelatin sweets, Haribo, or I don't know what you guys call them over here. You call them candy, soft candy. That's the words. No more chocolate. It was another one. No more milk chocolate. Let me rephrase that. No more milk chocolate. So yeah, there were some of the things that I drew the line in the sand. And there was some deeper ones like it. There's a lot of things where where in your life are you intended or committed? Like, I think when you ask me where have I drawn the line, there's been a lot of things where I've drawn the line when it comes to friendships. That's being
Mm-hmm.
committed to knowing that I am better than what I have been given in the past. You know,
Sure. Sure.
it's
I
not
mean,
better than the person. It's definitely, I want to get that out there. It's not better than the person. It's just that I want to grow at a pace that I want to grow at. And if people are not coming with me, I don't want them to be holding me back. And that's the whole committed to my life.
yeah, you start raising your standards when you do that. Like
Yeah.
you listen to somebody's talk when they say, when you're committed, you will do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a whole bunch of different like analogies out there. One of them is if you want to take the island, burn the boats.
That's a good one. I like
Right. That's one of
that. I do
them.
love that one.
And that's one that you can get a visual on. It's you sail across the ocean and you're going to go to war with this country, and the person that's the in charge of the army, he tells his people burn the boats.
Yeah.
So he's more or less telling these people, we're committed. We will die or we will win. We're not going to give in and run away.
So let's put that into a modern time era. So give an example to the listeners out there of a modern day kind of way that would be like burning the boats. And I'll use that for analogy so that you can explain it.
You're putting me on the spot because I got to think of something. Burning the boats, and I'll give you an example.
Cool.
At one time, a couple of years ago, maybe 2 decades, I would step on the scale and weigh about 240, 242. So I was getting up there. I was getting heavy, but I was wearing it. I didn't think it was a big deal. And then I go to a seminar and I find out that if I gained 2.2 pounds. That's what an average man in the United States, he gains 2.2 pounds every year, which is not a lot. In 365 days, no big deal. But you take it and do 2.2 pounds for a decade, now you're 20 pounds more. And so when I was 240, that was 20 years ago. So we add 40 pounds onto where I'm at, where I was at then.
Yeah,
Now I'm at 280. Now I'm pretty close.
What was you at? Sorry, you were at 220 or were you at 230?
The 242.
You were 242, so you'd now be at 282.
Yep, there you go. Yep. And when I went to there and I realized that I was not healthy and I wanted to get in better shape, I was able to release the weight. I was able to release the weight within a year, and I was down under 200, got around 195, 190. And for the last 20 years, that's where I've been.
Beautiful.
But I have a thermostat in my head that I'm committed to. Like I burn the boats. When my scale walks up and gets close to 197, 198 around Christmas time or whatever, when I see that, I burn the boats and I'm like, no way, I'm done eating. I'm done eating the sugary snacks. I'm done eating that stuff. And I work hard and I get back down into the low 190s or maybe the high 180s, right?
Yeah.
So I burn the boats because I have a thermostat in my head that says that. I changed the thermostat, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Because when I was over 200 pounds, I really wasn't thinking health. I wasn't really thinking any of those types of things. Now I have a different mindset around that. So that's where I burnt my boats, where I have a ongoing thermostat that tells me if that scale says 198, it's game over. It's not going to say 200.
And because we're talking about language, because that's what the podcast is about, give us some examples of how you change your language around that scenario, around that situation.
No. The language that I use today and I used back then when I got started was I'm committed to releasing the weight once and for all.
Yeah.
I will do whatever it takes until I get there. Back in the day, and this is still a really good way to release weight, but the language was back in the day was to alkalize and energize. So it was like get the acids out of your system, get the acids out and get your body alkalized, and then you get healthy. So I worked daily, morning, noon, and night. I didn't really give myself, weekends were just like a Monday through Friday. I was committed. Committed to doing it. So I didn't give myself a break. I didn't use a lot of phrases people use on the weekends is when they're trying to release weight. They'll get to the weekend and like, I deserve that. I deserve that piece of cake. I deserve that beer. I deserve that margarita, whatever. And so that language was that more or less was released from my vocabulary, and mine was more of I'm committed until I get to where I need to be.
So then I started by saying I should go to the gym, right? What would be now your language around going to the gym? Because I know you've been to the gym today, but both of us have been to the gym. So what would be your language around that when you're not feeling it?
Oh, this is one I say we do.
Perfect. I love that.
I say we do. So I'm telling the little voice in my head, telling me that's, we don't need to go to the gym. We went to the gym the last 5 days in a row. I just say to myself, I say we do. And I just start walking towards the gym. Because I come to realize I play a game in my head. I play a game in my head about certain things. And one would be going to the gym. Is that statistics show that 97% of the people have a gym membership, but they don't go.
Yep.
That 97% is listening to that voice in their heads saying it's okay not to go to the gym. I want to be part of that 3%. So I learned that from a mentor about I say we do. And that is something that's out in our garage. I have a
Yeah,
cold plunge out there. I have a big whiteboard, and right in the middle of it, in big words, it says I say we do, because every single time I take the cover off the cold plunge, my brain is telling me you don't need to do it today. And I'm like, ain't happening. So I turn up the music, I get in, and once I'm sitting in it and the water's up to my neck, I just say I'm just so proud of myself, because I could have easily not went and sat in it.
and that's that word, that should. I should get in, and then you're saying no. I say we do.
And it's this, and I really want to stress this, and I know we've talked about it 5 minutes ago. You have to be really cautious and be really aware of the language that you're using, because the language that you use creates your life, creates your history, creates your future.
Yeah.
And for myself, and giving something away here, but when someone hires me to be their coach and we're having conversations, I always send out a questionnaire to have them fill it out to find out where's their gap, where are they at,
Yeah.
and where do they want to go. And then what we do is we fill that gap in. And once I understand where they want to go, I ask them one question. And I have turned people down to work with them when they don't have the right answer. But I say to them, on a scale of 0% to 100%, how committed are you to having this goal or this target in your life? If they say 99%, I say, thank you, but no thank you. I only work with people that are 100% committed.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm committed to the committed. And I will tell them, if you're 100% committed to this, I know that you will get this target, this goal, and I will go to the ends of the earth for you, because if you're committed, I'm committed.
Yeah.
And then I tell them, I said, there's going to be some rocky roads a little bit, because what we're going to do is, for you to receive and get that goal, you need to become a different person.
Mm-hmm.
That's what changes. Most people want things, but they're scared to change who they are. They have to change. And one of them is their language. And that's where I come in, where my ears are listening for the words that are dictating their stories. Remember, the story that you tell is the truth that you know.
Yeah.
So I'm listening for their story, and then I just reflect it back to them. I go, that's interesting that you said that. I just want to reflect back what you said. And then I will ask them, is that what you want? You want to keep this? Is this serving you or not serving you? And if they say it's not serving me and they want to change, then we help them change their story. And it goes right along with their language.
And that's the key. It's the language. I'm thinking of a saying that you've got on your garage wall, which is, the words that we say is the life that we lead.
What's that again?
The words that we say is the life that we lead is another one. So
Okay.
if we're consistently saying things that are disempowering over time, that's the life that we'll actually start to lead.
Yeah.
And you can tell from somebody's language their identity. You can tell how driven they are. You can tell how much pull they have. You can tell how much motivation they have. Motivation is one of them words that can run out in the end. It's only if you've people that don't lie, the results just give them the truth.
Mhm.
That's the thing. It's all about looking at, for me anyway, because I've changed my language a lot because the amount of work that we did at the beginning, is it becomes one of them things where you end up catching yourself on your own language. And then
Yep.
when you're
Yeah.
listening to other
That's
people, they're
exactly.
like, oh, we talked recently of language a couple of weeks ago as well about butt busters, and when we're in it, and it's
What'd you say? What?
butt busters.
Okay. I'm sure if you brought that up a couple of weeks ago, I asked the same question. What the hell is that?
It's when you get into a discussion with someone and you don't say, me and you got in a discussion and I don't agree with you, and people go, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, it just shuts down that whole kind of thing. So instead of using, and again, this is reverting back to language, instead of using yes, but, you can use yes, and
Okay.
it brings it in.
That's That didn't sound anything like you just described. So I understand it now.
The book buster.
Yeah. There we
That's
go.
that.
There we go. So you bring up a really good point. So I'll get into a little bit of the coaching. And anybody that's listening to this podcast that I've coached before, every one of them will know this. One of the words that I bring up is the word try. When they bring that word up, I bring it to their attention and I use this language. I'm like, just like with Yoda in Star Wars, Yoda says, there is only do or do not, there is no try, which is true. We kid around about it. So that word is so fun because when people, I'm coaching them for weeks and months and stuff, they'll come on and they will say the word try, and I will scratch the record. I will make it funny. And I'll say, you know what? I said, our internet connection just broke up a little bit. I thought I heard you say the word try, but I know you wouldn't. And they're like, oh, no, I'm going to. I will do this. But here's where it's beautiful. A couple of weeks after that, they will say the word try, and then they will catch themselves and change it without me saying anything. That is where they're reprogramming their brain.
Yep.
And it's the coolest thing is from my standpoint of me introducing them to language is very important. And then they start to catch themselves. Game over. Like I had a gentleman years ago, started working with him. He wanted to release some weight from his body. He was in the 370s.
Yeah.
And today he's in like the 250s. He's lost like 120 pounds. But his language, he needed to change. So one of the things that when I first met him, he's a beautiful human being. He used to have a nickname that he was given to him when he was a young boy, because he was a bigger boy back then, a bigger kid back then. They used to, his first name was Jeremy. They called him Big J.
Okay.
So that was his nickname. That's all he went by. So he, as a big gentleman or a big kid, he used to wear it with pride. Here comes Big J. That's right. Here I come. And he'd have some fat jokes he could tell and all that stuff. And so when he realized one day that if he didn't do something, this is where we created the why. Why did he want to get committed, 100% committed to releasing the weight? Because he said to himself, I have 2 kids and my daughter. I want to walk her down the aisle someday. I don't want somebody else to do it for me because I'm not going to be there. So he decided to get healthy.
Nice.
And so that was the commitment. That was his commitment was and once he had a big enough reason why, it's game over. And 120 pounds is off. And now him and I are working together still. And he's going to be under 200 pounds here in the next year. Easily.
Nice. And that's all, again, that's basing it back on the language that we're not only speaking, but listening. Because again, it creates your identity, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy's identity was a Big J. That was his identity. He accepted that. So until he got rid of that, the same as what I did when I had a nickname. My nickname was TAF, Fat Backwards.
That's right. That's right.
That?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
I do that. Yep.
I got rid of that. Once I got rid of that and started saying to everybody, sorry, no, you can't call me that. I don't want to be called that. I want to be called Peter. Then all of a sudden things started to change. And it stopped me from yo-yoing. I was in good shape, then I was high, then I was low, then I was high, then I was low, then I was high. So it stopped me from doing that. And again, I love these conversations about language and commitment. And I have a question for you then. So let's go with this. Why do people avoid true commitment?
They're scared.
Okay.
They're scared. I go back to what I talked about a few minutes ago. When people are scared to commit, they know they're going to have to change, and they're going to have to change their identity. They're going to have to change who they are. They're going to have to change their daily habits.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that scares them.
Yeah.
That's something that scares them. Yeah. Yeah.
What else would you say is failure? Fear of failure?
You know what? Fear of failure and fear of success. the fear
There
of
you go.
success of Jeremy getting from 378 or something like that down to 199, let's just say, get down to 199.
Yeah.
That scale saying that and him looking in the mirror, that's when him and I really worked on. He needed to change his identity. That's why he had to get rid of the language I'm Big J.
Yeah.
He had to just say, "Hey, I'm Jeremy." And here's another thing. He admitted, we had a conversation about it, and he gets down into the 250s, and people that haven't seen him in a long time, he's lost 120 pounds. They're like, "Oh my God, Jeremy, you look fabulous." And he kept hearing it and hearing it.
Yeah.
So then he hit a plateau, and all of a sudden he's getting the recognition. He's got a new identity of, "Ooh, this is good." And now now I want to get healthy. Now I really want to get healthy. And so he
Yeah, because
wants to,
before,
what's that?
sorry, before he was just releasing the weight, he wasn't healthy. He was getting healthier.
Each pound that you release, you're just getting healthier and healthier. Yeah.
And now he wants to do it for a different reason.
Yeah, now he wants to get into it. He wants more respect as a CEO of a company.
Yeah.
He wants those types of things. So he's got other big reasons why. He still has the daughter he wants to walk down the aisle, and
Yeah.
he wants to show his kids that if I create a healthy lifestyle around my family, that's all they're going to know when they leave. They'll have a healthy lifestyle for when they move out. And to me, that's the reason we're doing what we're doing.
And it creates more energy. That's what I've found anyway. My language creates more energy. That's what I've been finding over the years of changing my language.
Tell me more about that.
Shifting from I'll try to I will. Again, like when someone's, oh, I'll use this example. There's certain times I don't want to do things in life, and that's just called being a human. I used to say, oh, I'll try and make it. I'll try and make it to that appointment. Now I'm like, I will make it to that appointment. And if I don't want to go to it or I don't really want to do it, I'll say, I'm not going to do that, or I won't make it to the appointment, or I won't make it to dinner, or whichever. And it's just changing it, which gives you more of a better identity. And we're going down that route again, is understanding who you are. Like, I should do that instead of I must do that. You know?
Yeah. And then we'll talk about that just for a second too.
Yeah.
When you get committed to something, right? And you get laser focused on something, you know how easy it is to say yes and no to things?
Well, it's that easy.
It's just so easy because you're so focused on this and you're like, hey, you need to look at this. You're like, nope, thanks, but no thanks. So I talk about this quite often. There's so many people that lose so much energy. You're talking about energy. You want to lose a lot of energy. Don't make a decision. Only just keep thinking about, you need to make a decision, but you're just like, oh, I don't know if I should, or should I not, or shouldn't I do this? And this is my language and my analogy is it's like you're standing on the fence. And that's something that people say, oh, I'm on the fence. I don't know what I want to do. But think of a fence. You're standing on top of a fence and it's very wobbly. Like it's wobbly. So all you're doing is focusing on not falling off. And all you need to do is make a decision and just say yes or no and jump onto that side. Can always change it, right? But you're wasting all that energy by standing on that fence and trying not to fall off.
Yeah. And it's sometimes challenging to make a decision when it's in a big thing. And it's all about, for me, just programming ourselves to make the smaller decisions easier. And I think
say that again.
Making the smaller decisions easier.
Yeah.
But what happens is we stack the small decisions, and I'm a culprit for this. I'm a person that sometimes I'm like, what do we do for dinner? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I really don't care. I'm not bothered at all. And then it'd be like, what do you think? What do you think? And in the end, I'm like, you know what? I'm not bothered what we have for dinner. Just make a decision, because I don't want to think about that. I don't actually want to make a decision. I don't want to make a decision. Just sometimes in life, you just want to go with the flow. Sometimes you don't want to make a decision. And the biggest thing I think is the commitment of who you want to be and the focus of who you want to be is key, because we could be committed and focused and laser focused on one item or one thing or one direction. And what I see in a lot of people is they're not committed to themselves.
Yep.
They're not committed to changing the language. They're not
Yep.
committed to looking at it from a different perspective. They're not, and that's the
They're,
key.
yep. Yep. You're exactly right. They're not committed because I think a lot of people are scared to get committed because when they commit to something, what happens is we have this thing called people pleasers, and they're worried they're going to make someone uncomfortable or not happy. And I've come to the point where I'm so committed to this program, Healthy Mindset Rebels, and all this is I'm not scared to ruffle the feathers. I'm not scared to shake somebody and wake them up and go, hey, you're responsible for your health. You're responsible for your family's health. It's not the doctor, it's not your doctors, it's not your parents, it's nobody's responsibility but your own. You need to take responsibility. And there's so much great information out there like ours and other places out there that really can help you. For us, we don't care if you jump on a diet. We don't care how you release the weight. We want you to release the weight as healthy as possible. But we're here to commit that we're going to help you create a mindset around creating a healthy lifestyle around food, your body, and your life. And you don't have to do it alone because we created this beautiful community. That's how committed we are. We're like, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but we're committed. There's no stopping us. So for me, it's like we're already helping those 100,000 people a year with no problem. Time just hasn't caught up yet. Your boots just hit the ground here in the US 10 days ago or so. So we're off and running. And we're so committed. You just keep following us because we're just going to get better and better, and you're going to hear more and more about us because we're on our way. We have a mission, and we're gonna get.
I'm gonna correct myself. By the way, I said my goal, and I'm going to use this terminology: goals without dreams are just dreams without goals are just dreams. And you said something that was very powerful there, which is there's a lot of information out there. It doesn't matter where you get it from. Education is only potential power. Action is all power. And that's what the community brings together. We're both in different communities. A friend of ours very recently, we were both in a call together, and this was so powerful what he said. I'm not going to mention his name. We were in a group together. There's only 4 people in that group. And he said, it's amazing when you get 4 people that are so committed and driven, right? And I'm paraphrasing. I know they were maybe not his exact words. And if he's listening, I apologize for changing it. What I heard was to be in a room full of fully like action driven people is super cool because we're here to push each other. And it's the same as with Healthy Mindset Rebels. We're both super committed, man. I moved my whole life. I moved my beautiful, amazing wife here for this commitment. And what I'm going to correct myself on, because I'm going to say it, is my goal, and I believe you're on board with it, when I came to you, was 100 million people's lives to be changed in the next 10 years. And I said at one point, which my maths was really wrong, 100,000 people a year. I meant 10 million people a year. I meant 10 million people a year. Yeah, awesome. And that's just, again, the language. Sometimes we call each other out on it as well. Let's bring that into the scenario and the conversation about being committed, because we've used that word a lot, and being open to have somebody else call you out on stuff. Like giving people permission to say, hey, you know what? I thought we weren't going to use that language again.
Yeah, that's a great point. Who you hang out with is who you become. We already had a conversation or a podcast on that. But when you're talking about people that love you enough to call you out on things, that same 4 guys, the other 2 guys that we hang out with and do that mastermind with, I did something where one of the guys called me out and he said something about, do you want to be normal? Do you want to be normal? Yep. Like in this day and age, like with our health and stuff, you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, the numbers are here and you're very normal for your age. And I said that, and he called me out on it, and he goes, do you want to be normal? And I'm like, fuck no, I don't want to be normal. And he goes, then, so I released that naturopath. I said, I respect you and thank you, but I said, you're not the person that I want, because I want to be healthier 10 years from now than I am right now. And I'm going to work on that. And I do. You live with me. You know how I am.
Yeah, I do. I know exactly how you are. And it's funny because I've just come back from seeing my brother, as you well know. And he said the exact same thing. And it was really funny because Ash said to him, just like your brother and Jeff, because he said something about why would anybody like to be normal or do the same as everybody else. And
Yeah.
Ash said, just like your brother and Jeff, just like your brother and Jeff. There's
Yeah.
no point. You can be okay at something if you want to be okay at it. You can be average at something if you want to be average at it. But if you want to go and get it and you want to go and strive to be something better like us, then you've just got to go out there and go for it. And it doesn't matter if you fail. Like, this is the biggest thing is
There's no such thing as failure.
there isn't. I love it. There is things in a lot of people's eyes. There is there is failure, and it depends on how you use that word to drive. I love it. I love it. I did it this morning. 100 push-ups. I still not managed to do 100 push-ups in a row. I failed. I'm like, cool. Let's try tomorrow. Let's give it a go.
No, but
wrong word.
Change the word failure to feedback.
Yeah,
All you did is get feedback. They talk about fail forward, fall forward, learn from it. What was the feedback?
Yeah.
Where you and I are both into golf. Hit a golf ball. A golf ball goes in the direction of feedback. And you look at it going, I like the feedback. It's right down the middle of the fairway. That's where I want to do it again. Or it goes to the right or left. And then you look at the feedback that the ball gave you and you go, okay, if I consistently do that, it's going to keep doing that. If not, then we get into insanity. Do the same thing over and over again, expect different results, right? Yeah. I love that you bring that up. And your brother, I've gotten to meet him a couple times, and he's exactly that. He's not in the normal thing. He does his thing, and I respect him a lot for what he does. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Sometimes he goes too far. And he does. He's just admitted that to me recently. He's just admitted that he went too far on something. He did. Like there's an extreme. There's a level of extreme where you can go where it becomes unhealthy.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, this was an amazing call.
One more thing before we go. One more thing. I just want to show that we're human because I used that word try when I said about trying tomorrow with the push-ups. And then I was about to correct myself. You corrected it for me and give me a different one from failure to feedback. So if you've got to the end of this and you're listening to this, it still proves that permanently both myself and Jeff are working on improving ourselves every single day of the week. And what you could do is you could just press the add to subscribe to our channel, and you could go to Facebook and Instagram, Healthy Mindset Rebels, and you could press that like and subscribe page there as well. And it just means that we
thanks in advance for doing that. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome.
Great conversation.
So, what was your top insight?
Oh, top insight. In the last bit then that we're constantly never-ending improvement. We're always improving ourselves. And even just then, I've learned to change failure to feedback. That's my top insight. Nice.
Yeah. And for myself, I'm just going to talk about the fence. When you're on this wobbly fence and you're not committed to anything, just make a decision. Jump off that fence, say yes, say no. You can always change it, and you'll have a lot more energy to do other things. So at the end of the day, our results really are not random. They are a direct reflection of what we're committed to.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that if you really think about it in your life. So anyway, I thank everybody for showing up. Peter, it's been a great time again.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon, everybody. Right. And we are your wake-up call to get healthy once and for all. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Later. Bye.
Bye-bye.